Hello, nerds, and welcome back to Amazing World. So, this episode is starting off a little bit differently than normal, and the reason for that is because I am moving some of my storage stuff right now. So, as you can see, we have all of these blocks down here, and let me empty out my inventory really quickly because it is time to introduce a new sound into our leaderboard of sounds. I just want you guys to listen to this. It's so perfect. It doesn't get any better than that. It really doesn't. Anyways, that is going to be entry number 3 on the list of satisfying sounds. So as you can see, I have loads of enchanted books and fishing rods and bows and stuff, and that is because I have, of course, been doing a lot more fishing. I have made a pretty good bow, and I have a decent amount of books. I think I even have a mending book. Okay, yes, right here. I have a mending book. So I can put that on something. I don't know what I'm going to put it on yet. It'll probably be a pickaxe whenever I make a good diamond pickaxe, but for now, we're just going to save it down here. Now, I know when this video goes out, the Copper Age update has officially released. In fact, it's released now. I'm recording this October 6th. So the Copper update is out. However, I have not upgraded the world to version 1.21.9 yet because mods like Flashback and some other mods that I use are not yet updated. Anyways, in the last episode, we of course built this tractor and did all of this farming area stuff. The tractor is still going to be red eventually whenever I get mangrove wood. However, I still have not gotten a wandering trader with propagules yet. But hopefully this episode, I'll be able to find some stuff, at least something new, because the plan for this episode is to go adventuring. I'm sure you see the title in the thumbnail and have figured that out already. But before I do that, I do have plans to actually finish up some things around here. So the first course of action for this episode is going to be to build a little pier right here that I can fish off of because I'm tired of just sitting on the grass here. So I'm just going to do this old trick where you use a darker color wood to make the wood look kind of wet. So we'll use some like splotches of some of the spruce wood to kind of give the illusion that the wood has gotten a little damp. I think this looks pretty good, but I want to kind of try something else. So I don't like how far the slabs stick out here. So I'm kind of thinking about maybe using stairs on the edges and then doing slabs across the bottom. So like that for the first one, and I'll see how it looks out here. I'm scared it's not going to look correct. Let's see. Does that look right? Yeah, okay. I actually think that looks good. I think that works. So, because you can't really see the bottom part of the stair. So, for the next order of business, I want to work on this tree. I wasn't really proud of it whenever I built it the first time. I was, of course, constrained to only using tough blocks. But now I have spruce wood, which I can use as like actual limbs and stuff. Hopefully it won't look as dense because this is a big complaint I have with trees. Sometimes they look too dense, and whenever you use like only walls or something, it looks very dense. Unfortunately, I do not have any azalea leaves. I know it sounds weird, but hear me out on this one. Whenever you have spruce, birch, and azalea leaves together, you can do a really nice gradient with the leaf colors. So you would typically have spruce and then birch and then azalea on the end. Or it's not azalea, acacia. Interestingly, it's a brighter green than the birch, which sounds counterintuitive because they're like a dry tree. You would expect them to be darker, and they are in savannas. But in a plains biome, they're actually lighter than birch, and it gives you a really nice gradient. Unfortunately, I don't have acacia yet. So for now, we're just going to use some spruce and birch to do a little bit of a gradient, and I'll show you how I do that as I build it. So I left this here. I'm going to start the base out as basically the same thing. Okay, so I've got the beginning of this branch end. The way I'm going to do this one is do 2 main branches. I'm going to do one kind of going this way and then one kind of going up this way. Okay, yes, this is a nice general shape here. It kind of splits off into 2 different sections, which is, of course, what I wanted. And we will build off from there. Now, I don't want to do too many leaves towards the bottom because I think that generally makes a tree look a little strange whenever you have a lot of leaves towards the bottom, so I want to keep them light. I'm going to use mainly these spruce leaves towards the bottom, so that way I can leave the birch leaves at the top, so it looks a little bit brighter towards the top. But I'll do a couple of highlights here and there with the birch leaves. And after several minutes, I am finally finished. I'm much more happy with this tree design than the one I did initially. It looks a lot more like a real tree than the first one. I'm going adventuring this episode. I need my personal space, first of all. I need a horse to go with me. Unfortunately, I don't know which one to pick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just tame all of them and then see which one is the fastest. But first, I got to get them back over to my base. Of course, before I breed these horses, I need a way to actually test their speed. Upon looking, I found a really simple design by Morzy on YouTube, and I was thinking of all of these elaborate designs, and I'm kind of embarrassed I didn't think of this, because this is incredibly simple. So you make a line 4 blocks long, and we put redstone across all of it. All right, I said 4 blocks, 14 blocks. Put a pressure plate here, and all we do is we put fence gates. Now what will happen is whenever you run across this, the fence gates open and close. They stay open for exactly 1 second, so depending on where your horse is stopped by the fence gate, that'll tell you your blocks per second. Now this goes up to, so this would be 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. So hopefully there's one fast enough to be faster than 10. We're going to test you first. I'm hoping you're fast. Okay, so you first. Please love me. He seems really slow. Like he seems really, really slow. I think this is bad. It's also raining, so that's not a good sign. Oh, also he could be slow because of the him being tied up to the fence post. Okay, he's not quick. He's definitely not quick. Okay, no, he didn't even make it to 10. Also, I know the rain is going to make the YouTube video look garbage, so I'm sorry for that. He feels a little quick. Feels kind of swift. Right, let's line him up. Okay, he made it to the second one. We'll mark it with a fence post because I don't really know how else to do it, and we'll tie him up to it. This one's got a lot of hearts. I didn't really pay attention to the other one. Also, didn't check the jump. I need to check the jump. That is something that's kind of important. Whoa. Okay, this one's quick. This one is definitely quick. Okay, he almost cleared it entirely. So you know what? I don't even think I need to test anymore. Definitely a good horse. Definitely a good horse. Let me test the jump. Okay, the the jump is also good. Let me see if it's 2.5. I think it's 2.5. It's at least 2.5. Is it 3? Is it 3 blocks? He can jump at least 3 blocks. Can he do 3.5? If he can do 3.5, I'm not taming any more horses, and I'm just using him. Okay, I didn't get a full jump. He can do 3.5 blocks. Okay, we're taking this horse. We don't even need to test the others. He's even got like almost max hearts. I think max would be 1 more heart. Kind of can't believe I found a horse that's just that fast by default. Like not even going through the whole breeding process. So now that we have a horse and my video hopefully didn't get bitrate bombed by YouTube, I think I'm pretty much ready to start adventuring. So I'll just gather up some materials and get ready to go. So it is now several real life weeks later, and fortunately all of the mods that I needed to come out have been released now. So we are updated to 1.21.10, which means we now have copper stuff. So I am going to get myself a little bit of copper armor. And wow, it looks shiny. It looks so shiny. Why is it so bright? I kind of like it though. Anyways, you may have seen I have some maps now. I traded with a cartographer over there in the village to get some. And what I'm going to do is make a big map. I don't know what they're called. They're like, I don't know. You can upscale maps in the game. I don't know where to put this. I guess for now it's just going to go outside somewhere. I need to use one of these maps. And then we get a nice little area here. You can see it's all filled in already. But I think if we do this, put another map in. Okay, that just copies it. How do you make it bigger? I know the way you used to do it is you'd put a map in here and then surround it with paper. I've got to get some paper. I'm pretty sure. Yes, okay, so the paper is the correct choice. I don't know how much I can scale it. So our 1/8 scale, which is, this is absolutely huge. Look at my, that's all of my wheat farm. That's all of this is like those 20 pixels or so. This is the scale we have, and we're at the bottom left corner. That's actually pretty good because I wanted to go that way and I wanted to go that way. So basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be trying to fill in this entire map within this episode. I don't know if I'll be able to do it or not because this looks huge, but I'm going to hop on the horse. I need a name for him. We need a name for the horse. If anybody has any ideas for names, I would appreciate it because I really need help naming things. But anyhow, I also got a bundle, so I can throw in some extra stuff like the crafting tables, which that's not really going to help because it's only one thing right now. So I think what I'm going to do for now is try to make some lodestones in case I find anything kind of interesting. I don't have that much stone. Let's see, 33, that should get me 3. That should be plenty. Oh no, it gets me 4. I can't do math. Unfortunately, I don't have the compass unlocked with the villager yet, and I don't have that many emeralds. My emeralds aren't in here. Oh, they're in my inventory. I don't have that many emeralds left. So I'm just going to make some, even though it is going to be a slight waste of iron. So I made a few extra bundles just in case I get some stuff that doesn't really stack very well in the inventory. I don't know how much I'm going to find. I don't really think there's that much around, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyways, I am ready. So we are a few minutes into our adventure and we have come across our first structure, which is a ruined portal. So I'm going to go check it out. We got a lodestone and a couple of golden carrots. That's not bad. Ooh, some pants. I'm also taking this gold. So after several hours, I have finally returned home and I have indeed filled in the entirety of this map. While on my expedition, I did of course find a couple of useful things. We have some coast armor trims here, some sweet berries, some pale oak saplings, of course. I did not have the saplings before, I just had the wood to use on this stuff that I got from a wandering trader. But anyways, I did get some pale moss and some normal moss, also from a wandering trader, but I'm counting it as a win from the expedition. I also have 3 separate locations I would like to return to eventually. However, I'm not doing that in this episode because I have one final idea that I want to do, which involves some space right over here. So over here, we of course have the village and whatnot, and there is not a natural way to get over there without swimming across this river. So, for the remainder of this episode, I'm going to work on building a bridge from this side of the river to that side of the river, and I want it to go in this area right here. And there's a reason for that I will show as I get to building. So really, there are actually two different reasons that I want the bridge in this exact location. Reason number one is because that natural hill over there is going to provide a nice kind of ending point for it without me having to make a whole artificial hill like I'm going to have to on this side. As I get to building the bridge, you'll see that the bridge is actually going to be like 5 or 6 blocks tall. So I'm going to need hills on either side to actually, be able to get off of the bridge without just falling off. And the second reason I want the bridge right here, unfortunately the sun's going down, so I'm going to have to go sleep in a second, but the second reason I want the bridge here is because it's going to provide kind of a barrier between my area that's going to be over here and the village that's of course going to be over there. So this line here is going to be about where the natural terrain needs to end. Let me make this transition here a little bit smoother. Yes, so about here, and I'm going to bring that side a little bit closer. You can see there's a little bit of an inlet right there that I'm going to try to fill in. Okay, so this here will be my basis. Now, I just need to find a middle point between this section and that section. And I think I'm going to go from right here. I think here's the best spot. Okay, so 25 blocks. That's actually really nice. A very decent number to work with. Okay, so 13 right here, and I'm going to just mark that with a white fence post. So I am going to begin the bridge building process by building from the middle, of course, the best place to start building a bridge. But before I start that, I'm actually going to work on the bed of the river, making it so there's not just going to be a giant gap down here. And now I'm going to start putting in the first arch. So, let's see, I want the middle of the bridge to be about 5 blocks wide. So this will be the edge right here. And that will be the base of the pillar. Well, not the base of the pillar. Of course, it's going to continue down. However, I'm just going to start with the above water stuff first. And just like that, both sides of the arch are done, and then I'm going to connect them in the middle. However, I'm not going to do that just yet because I think I want to use some dark oak instead of the spruce to give a little bit more of a shadow effect than what the spruce is going to give. And then the majority of the bridge is actually going to be made out of these packed mud and packed mud bricks, and I think I'm going to try to add in some stairs to give just a little bit of depth here. This is the sort of look I'm going for. I decided against using the stairs. I think it looks a little bit too dark in the actual, in the crevice of the stairs. Like, in this section. I think it looks a little bit too dark, and it looks a little strange on the bridge, so I'm just going to leave it completely flat and give it some depth with just the shadowing. Now the archways are done, but I need to get some dark oak so that way I can fill in the middle here. Well, I've done some deforestation, but I think I have enough dark oak that I can finish my bridge now, so I'm going to go ahead and leave this place. So I have finished the bridge and finished the hills surrounding it. The hills actually took quite a long time, but I'm finished now. I still need to connect the paths, which I will probably do that quickly. But before I do that, I want to add some guardrails here, and I think I want to do it out of sandstone. Unfortunately, I don't have a desert biome yet, so I'm just going to have to go around and mine loads of the sand and craft a bunch of sandstone. Okay, so I've got some sandstone, and I think what I'm going to do is a little pattern like this, where I have alternating stairs and slabs, kind of, so we get these even spaces between them. It should look something like this all the way across. And with those side railings now put up, the bridge is now finished. I have also added some details here on the sides, but the paths are finished, all the terraforming is finished, the railings are finished. Now I can just go back and forth between the village. Ignore that there's no pathing here. It's supposed to be there. It's just not there yet. Anyhow, that is going to be all for this episode. I have finished about everything I wanted to do in this episode. I almost got to everything. Unfortunately, didn't get to completely finish everything I wanted to do, but exploring and building that bridge took a lot longer than I thought. So, anyways, thanks for watching, and hopefully the next episode won't take so long.